and just, they were doing a lot of stuff. But they were, yeah.
How's it feel?
Yeah.
We're gonna start rotating. We did
Thought you needed me.
They made you an offer that you couldn't refuse. Okay. Yeah. 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 I can't see you retired. You seem like an guy like me.
This should
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Get that other one from.
Oh, no, she definitely will do it, and she did not do it from home.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Tuesday, October the 19th, City Council meeting. I now call this meeting to order. Our pledge of allegiance and invocation this afternoon will be given by the chair. So at this time, you would stand and face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. If I could read from 2 Corinthians 13, verse 11. Finally, brothers and sisters, rejoice, strive for full restoration, encourage one another, be of one mind, live in peace. And the God of love and peace will be with you. Would you bow in prayer with me, please? God, I pray that tonight we would be in one mind, one heart, and one soul. And just ask that as we make the decisions this afternoon that we do it with the wisdom and the knowledge that comes from you. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen. All right. Under special presentations this afternoon, Councilwoman Burge.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Daisy, I've always wanted to do that. Oh, come up here. I promise you, we really embarrass you. Yeah. My friend, we've been friends for a very long time. And you have mentored me and you have tutored me, and I can't tell you how many times, because we're Carol and Daisy, except when we're officially here, and how many times you have said, now Councilwoman Byrd, when I've asked one of my many questions, my Curious George things. You've been patient, you've been wonderful, and you're one of the smartest people I've ever known. You really know this stuff, you get it. And you're just the most ethical, best person I know. You've done a great job. I'm very privileged to call you my friend. We're still going to hit some places up in Atlanta because isn't that what this is about? Anyway, but tonight, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for all you've taught me. I want to thank you for being an example of the ethics and morals I wish government were always about. And it's my pleasure, at least to be the first person to say, well, I'm going to see you otherwise. But here, I'm going to miss you here. I mean, Brett's okay. Where's my dear? Oh, there he is. He's following in very fine footsteps. He's up to it, and we're very lucky to have him to do it. But we've been very fortunate to have you for a number of years. I'm starting off, and I know my colleagues all want to say something as well. So, my friend, Godspeed. I will miss seeing you here. I absolutely won't miss seeing you other places. I'll remind you of how miserable you must be not being here. I love you. Thank you for everything that you taught me. Thank you.
Councilman Ledford.
I imagine the lights are going to get fired up here, Chairman. I just wanted to say congratulations. This is a well-deserved next chapter in your career as in life. And I want to echo Councilwoman Burrs, and I'm going to miss you too. I said that at 3:30. I'm going to miss your smile, your super soft, just strong and assuring voice when I ask questions, and the way you explain things to us and to me personally. I'm just really going to miss that. I do think that you are a rock and foundation of this city that may have been a little unseen at times, but we all know exactly why we have such a great city to live in, and it's because of Daisy Madison. And this is, I expect you to shake your head. So I too wish you absolutely the very best, and spending time with those 9 grandchildren, I believe. And boy, are they lucky kids. So good luck. Love you. I'm gonna miss you.
Councilman Hester. Only know you for a short period of time, but work short period of time, but your example of humility, that strength that resonates from you. And it's just an example for Chattanooga, how I guess we all work together. Here, that spirit you have, that resonates, that dignity, you have that quiet spirit. I just say God bless you, whatever you do your next endeavor. Thank you.
Mr. Vice Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Daisy. We'll avoid all of our reliving our IT banter. We'll do that for another time because I will be running into you as well. We've been very fortunate here in the city to have some city employees come before us that are retiring, that have worked for the city for a great many years. And you are a shining example of many of them, not just the work you've done and the dedication, but I don't like to have it ever not noted the sacrifice that some of our city employees, such as yourself, give to this city every single day, Monday through Sunday, and the years put in, years that some don't need to put in, years that some just can't imagine waking up and not doing. I really never thought this day would come. I thought we would literally have to drag you out of here. But I'm happy to see it come. I'm happy to know that those years and those 7 days a week, nights, days, early mornings, you will be able to share with your grandchildren and your family now. We will miss you dearly, but I'm so happy to know what you'll be doing, spending your time, and that you will love it just as much and more than the time you've given to all of us here. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the family.
The councilperson. Councilman Burke.
Thank you, Ms. Daisy. It's a pleasure and an honor to have worked with you this past 4 years. We're connected in other ways that I didn't know at first, and just to hear about the amazing woman that you were before I met you, and to finally get a chance to meet you. Chattanooga is losing a wealth of knowledge with you. But you are the backbone of the city, like Aaron said, and I just appreciate everything that you've done here. And I just look forward to continuing to be able to pick up the phone and call you. If I have some problems or need to know something, reaching out to family members, please get them to get to you because you are an amazing woman. Just thank you for all your service.
Thank you.
Anyone else? So Daisy, I'm trying to give everybody a chance, I'm gonna speak fast. Everybody's talked about, your work ethic side, and you have been such a valuable asset to the city, but I can tell you from a personal experience, and my wife is a little bit on the shy side. A lot of times we would have, some of the council get-togethers with the mayor's staff and things. She always looked forward to being able to sit next to and talk to you. You made her feel so comfortable, and you were so gracious to spend time with her, and I appreciate that about you personally. I do have one request, is that you teach your conservative approach to the budget to Mr. Goldberg before you leave this place. That's my one request I have of you before you leave. That we do, you've been such a valuable asset to this city, and it's been such a privilege to have you in that role. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I wasn't expecting about to do this tonight, but after you guys were so gracious and so kind with your comments, I feel I really must let you know how much I appreciate the opportunity to serve this city in this capacity for this long. And I always tell you, this is not about Daisy. The city could not have done nearly as well as it could have, it has actually, without the staff that does the job so well, professionally, and the kind of dedication that you all talk about. But just as importantly, the administration and this council and other councils. You make good decisions. Not everyone is perfect, but you make good financial decisions that allow this city to be on a strong financial footing. So if I had any part in that, I'm grateful, but really the grateful belongs to this legislative body, the administrative arm of this government, with the mayor, this mayor and other mayors, to keep each other in check. And to a large degree, you listen to your CFO, and maybe you'll listen to you listen to Greg, and continue, and I know will be even better than before. If I had known this was gonna happen, I would have had my son at least come with me, so I have to listen to this, because he would believe these things, he'll say stuff like, who they got about. Thank you all so much.
All right. Can I have a motion on minutes? I have a motion to approve the minutes with proper second. Questions, comments before we vote? Roll call.
Councilwoman Fluor. Councilman Burke.
Yes.
Councilwoman Donovan. Councilwoman Burns.
Yes.
Councilman Hester.
Yes.
Councilman Ledford.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hill.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith.
Yes.
Chairman Henderson.
Yes.
8 yeses.
The ayes have it. Moving this now into the order of business for the city council. Ordinance is final reading. 5A, please.
An ordinance amending chapter City Code Part 2, Chapter 25, Section 25-2, curfew for minors.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Second.
we have a motion on the floor to approve 5A with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill.
Yes.
Councilman Ledford.
Yes.
Councilman Hester.
Yes.
Councilwoman Burns.
Yes.
Councilman Burke.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith.
Yes.
Chairman Henderson.
Yes.
8 yeses.
So moved. Madam Clerk, if you take a deep breath, with no objection from the council, would you take 5B all the way through M, please? You need a break in between? Did I just overwhelm you?
Building up to it. Item B, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 212 East 36th Street from M1 manufacturing zone to R2 residential zone. Item C, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone parts of properties located in 7200 and 7300 blocks surrounding Oaks Drive from R1 residential zone to R4 special zone with conditions and C2 convenience commercial zone with conditions for parcel 3. Item D, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 6701 Chapel Road from R1 residential zone to O1 office zone subject to certain conditions. Item E, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 2618, 2620 Park Street from R3 residential zone to UTC urban general commercial zone subject to certain conditions. Item F, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 2603 William Street from R3 residential zone to UTC urban general commercial zone subject to certain conditions. Item G, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 1620 Watauga Street from R2 residential zone and M2 light industrial zone to UGC urban general commercial zone subject to certain conditions. Item 8, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 1024 East Main Street from M1 manufacturing zone to UGC urban general commercial zone subject to certain conditions. Item I, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located in the 1000 block of E16 and 1690 Fayetteville Street from M1 manufacturing zone to UGC urban general commercial zone subject to certain conditions. Item J, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 1495 East 14th Street from R1 residential zone to UGC urban general commercial zone subject to certain conditions. Item K, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, those of regional property located at 1314 Duncan Avenue, R3 MD moderate density zone, to UGC urban general commercial zone, subject to certain conditions. Item L, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to regional property located at 513 Knox Avenue, R2 residential zone, C2 convenience commercial zone. Item N, an ordinance amending Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38, Article 6, height and other special exceptions, with which one height and area exceptions, Section 38 lots of record 3 single family dwellings, and Section 38 projections over yard.
What is the pleasure of the council? Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve items 5B through M with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman O'Brien. Councilman Burke.
Yes.
Councilwoman Burke.
Yes.
Councilman Hester.
Yes.
Councilman Ledford.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hill.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith.
Yes.
Chairman Henderson.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion to approve items 5B through M does carry. We have no ordinances on first reading this afternoon. That moves us to resolutions under economic development. We have a short-term vacation rental hearing. Madam Clerk, would you please read 7A?
A resolution concerning short-term vacation rental application number 21 SCPR 149, the property located at 1802 Knickerbocker Avenue.
Case number 2021-07. Is the applicant present?
Yes.
Thank you. Is there any opposition present? Okay. All right, Councilwoman Hill, this is your district. We do have an applicant with opposition. Would you like a presentation?
Yes, I will.
Kid Fisher, Land Development Office, 1802 Knickerbocker Ave, STDR 21-149. Here's a map of the surrounding, partially loaded, map of the surrounding short-term rentals, the purple being non-owner occupied issue, and the yellow being an application in process, the blue being the application under consideration now. This is an overhead view of the property. Front view of the property. Up Knickerbocker, down Knickerbocker, and here's an image of the driveway that they have. Here's a timeline of their application from turning it in, notice letters being mailed, a notice sign being posted, city council hearing today, and as a note, the property has not yet been inspected.
Thank you.
All right, any questions for Kaylee while he's there?
No questions for Karen.
Okay. All right, the applicant will have a total of 5 minutes. And then we will turn our time over to the opposition and they will have a total of 5 minutes. So, sir, would you like to come at this time and present to the council? Sure. If you give us your name, please.
My name is Brad Warren. Thank you for your time.
Hold on one second. Mr. IT, give us a 5-minute clock, please. There we go. Go ahead.
Okay. I understand the concerns the neighbors have. It is a great neighborhood with a great culture. That's what attracted us to the neighborhood. We actually own the lot next to it, 1800, where we're building a house for ourselves. So the 1802 is, we bought it because we're buying 1800. It'd be a great place to have the Airbnb next to us, so we can manage for us. So there's no way we're going to invite problems into this great neighborhood when we're a part of it and sitting right beside it. We'll be able to manage, supervise that project, no issue. We're not going to be a Airbnb where we live in Hickson or somewhere else. We'll be right next door to it. There's concern about a gate behind it. There's plenty of parking, enough for 4 cars. That gate locks. So apparently there was an issue at some point in the past where people were driving through the other person's driveway. there's a gate there, so if the gate's locked, I don't know how somebody would use it, and we'll put that in our terms and conditions that they cannot break the chain go through the gate. So, concerns that I saw were really about just the culture of the neighborhood that we're gonna be a part of, we don't disturb that at all. And again, with us living right there, there's no way to let that happen.
Any questions for the applicant from the council? You do understand you have a total of 5 minutes, and you forfeited the rest of your time. Thank you. All right, give us 5 minutes back on the clock. Is there any of the opposition that would like to speak here this afternoon? If you would, make your way to the podium, please. And it does look like we have some others that would like to speak as well, so if you could make sure that each person might have just a few minutes to speak.
Yes, sir. Well, it's nice to know that the Wardens are planning to build a home. I knew they were building on it because that property that they're building on is right behind my house. The problem that we're having is that not only, when people build these, when people have these non-owner places that they're renting for short terms, there's a lot of potential of problems. I did my research, I'm a good librarian, and a lot of times it does help tax-wise in the city, but it prices people out of the neighborhood, and that would be such a shame because this is North Chattanooga. I've lived there all my life. This is North Chattanooga where doctors and lawyers' kids go to North Park. And then you'll probably remember, but several years ago, it fell into disfavor. They thought about closing North Park, and now there's a resurgence. And it would be sad because we have these in our neighborhood if that happened again. And I say these because there's not just one. If you're looking at my house, the house to the right has applied for one of these. 1802 Knickerbocker is right behind my house. And I'm not talking about across the street, I'm not talking about, it's not even a house distance from me because that house was built for the house for the mother of the people we bought our home from, so it's really, really close. And then at the end of the property where they're building their house, which is right behind my house, catty corner to that is another house that has applied for this short-term lease thing. So we've got 3 houses in a block area. And if that happens, my house prices go in the toilet. I've looked it up. And realtors say that they have a real hard time selling these houses because people don't want to live where these are. It takes longer to sell the house. When it takes longer to sell the house, their house price goes down. I had planned to live there, death or diapers. I feel like I should open a Motel 6 in my house, and that way then we just live right in the neighborhood. So I do ask you all to consider this. North Chattanooga is a very special place. People come from other places to live in North Chattanooga. I know that for a fact. People tell me that all the time at the library. Thank you so much.
I am Ashley English. I am at 1708 Knickerbocker. So my house is one over from the lot that the Wardens are building their home on. I'll be really brief. We moved here in May 2020 from Johnson City. We chose North Chattanooga because, and specifically the Knickerbocker Avenue area, because it was kind of tucked away. We love North Chattanooga. It's where I met my husband. We wanted to raise our kids there. My husband is a physician at the Erlanger ER, so he is gone often at night, random hours of the evening, overnights. I'm home alone with my 2 girls. Right now, I feel safe currently where we are. I'm not sure how safe I would feel if there were people I didn't know one house over and then also directly across the street, which that comes up in the next meeting. So I know Nashville has a problem with Airbnbs. I do not want to take money from anyone's pocket, of course, but I just wanted to move to a neighborhood where families could flourish, where kids could feel safe. And we wanted to get to know our neighbors, and of course, due to COVID, we haven't got to know many of them yet. And if 2 of my surrounding neighbors are Airbnbs, then I just feel like we've taken 2 wonderful homes away from families that could use them. And like our other neighbors spoke there, this is a map with all of the Airbnbs close to us. Dartmouth Street has a ton of them. Our street has narrower streets, so parking, depends on how many guests are there. I know kids wait on the bus in the morning to go to Normal Park. I just don't know how comfortable I'd be with my own kids waiting out there if I didn't know who was across the street or across the way. That's really it. I just want neighbors who love this community and want to stay here and want to flourish. Thank you.
Okay, hold on one second. Go ahead and put 3 minutes back up there. Each person, we just have a total of 5 minutes for opposition. I think there was about 3 minutes left or something like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Henderson. My name's Tom Stimson. I live at 1714 Ichabod. I'm slightly outside of the 300 feet, so I did not get a letter, but I did formally oppose this short-term vacation rental. Couple of points I would like to make. I mean, Ichabod intersects Knickerbocker, right where the short-term vacation rental is taking place. And the property next door, 1800, that is currently being cleared. And I guess a future home is going to be built on that by the Wardens. It's right at the intersection of Ichabod. I live just up the hill of Ichabod. Very short little street. So anyway, losing the sense of community is probably one of the big things for me. And there would probably be 3 other people here tonight in opposition. One of them has COVID. The other 2 have small children, but they've got to attend to. So our numbers might be light, but we do oppose this. 1800 Knickerbocker, the lot that's being cleared. Next door, 1802, the short-term vacation rental in question. Then 1707 Knickerbocker, which is right across the street from English's house. That house was also purchased recently by Brad and Tuba Warden. They fixed it up and sold it. Now that house, not by them, but by the buyers, is applied for a short-term vacation rental. So, it's turned this little area, our little community is turning into like a hotel district. And that's, I don't know why, but all of a sudden it is. But anyway, so that's why I'm here. I would like to stop this. Thank you.
Councilwoman Hill, you'll get your line again, please.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. and Mrs. Warden, I have the pleasure to speak with you all when you were looking at getting a variance on your lot, and I know that you are genuine in your appreciation for Knickerbocker, and very genuine in your love for North Chattanooga. I have gotten a great deal of feedback from the neighbors who live there full time. I'm glad to hear that you all are going to move forward with building your home. And becoming part of the neighborhood. It does feel to me like some trust has been lost, and perhaps by living there, you'll have an opportunity to regain that trust and build a neighborly relationship with the folks that you so appreciate. You've spoken to me a great deal about how much you love Knickerbocker, but I know that our homeowners there love it as well. So I'm going to have to move to deny this request for a short-term vacation rental. Please know it is not because I am anti-short-term vacation rental, but we have to make sure that our neighbors are on board with businesses like this moving into their streets, especially when it comes to non-owner occupied units. I believe that you'll have the opportunity to reapply for this in a year, so perhaps in that amount of time you could work with your neighbors. So I'm sorry that I'm going to have to deny this, but that is what I am going to motion to this council to deny this application.
If that is in the form of a motion, is that correct?
Correct.
And I have a second.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to deny case number 2021-07 with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill? Yes. Councilman Bedford? Yes. Councilman Hester?
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs?
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kumar, Vice Chairman Cook. Chairman Henson.
Yes.
8 yes.
Motion to deny does carry. Moving now to 7B, please.
A resolution authorizing the interim city treasurer to amend by extending purchase order number 526211 to Harris Computer Systems for an 8-month period of April 1, 2021 through June 30, 2022 for the purpose of billing and collection of property taxes for an amount not to exceed $75,775.
Councilwoman Furst.
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve 7B with proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilman Kumar. Councilman Byrd.
Yes.
Councilwoman Morris.
Yes.
Councilman Henson.
Yes.
Councilman Ledford.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hill. Yes. Vice Chairman Smith.
Yes.
Chairman Henson.
Yes. So moved. Moving now to the mayor's office, 7C, please.
The resolution confirming the mayor's appointment of Jamaica Takia as city treasurer.
Councilwoman Furst. Motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill.
Yes.
Councilman Ledford.
Yes.
Councilman Hester. Councilwoman Byrd.
Yes.
Councilman Byrd.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kumar. Vice Chairman Smith.
Yes.
Chairman Henson.
Yes.
8 yes.
Motion to approve, Mr. Kia does pass. Congratulations. Moving now to Parks and Public Works. Under Public Works, item E, we found out during our committee meeting, had a typo error. Cancita, is that how you say that? Cancita, has been updated in the online version. So that has been corrected. So, Madam Clerk, with that being said, would you please read 7D through H, please?
Item D, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to enter into an agreement for grant administration services with Southeast Tennessee Development District for technical and professional administrative services for 3 city projects financed through the Clean Water State Revolving Loan Fund for a total project cost not to exceed $22,500. Item E, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to purchase a permanent sanitary sewer easement from Athens Distributing Company located at 2735 Conesita Drive, Kingston, Tennessee, parcel number 110BB001, tract number 4, Athens District, relative to the wet weather storage facility phase 6, C101 pump station contract number W19007 for an amount not to exceed $28,350. Item F, a resolution authorizing the renewal of blanket contract number D190022201 demolition services for the Department of Community Development, resolution number 30056 with Tower Construction Company of Chattanooga, Tennessee, for year 3 of the 3-year blanket for an amount not to exceed $500,000. Item G, a resolution authorizing the renewal of contract number W1601101, the on-call blanket contracts for landscape architect design services, resolution number 30534. With number 1, Ace Engineering Consulting Inc., 2 Barnes Design Solutions, 3 Alpha Finish and Company, 4 CDM Smith Inc., 5 Quarry Engineering, 6 HDLA, 7 Ray Smith Associates Inc., 8 Ross Fowler PC, 9 Stantec Consulting Services Inc., 10 WMWA Landscape Architects, for year 2 of the 5-year term with its 10 firms at $1,250,000 total annually for use by all departments. Item 8, a resolution to amend resolution number 30716 to increase the annual not to exceed amount by an additional $800,000 for the last not to exceed amount of $1.5 million for the remainder of year 3 of a 4-year term for the on-call blanket contracts for structural engineering services Contract number E18008-101, resolution number 29704 for the following 7 consulting firms.
What's the pleasure of the council? We have a motion on the floor to approve items 7D through H with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Coonrod?
Yes.
Councilman Byrd?
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs?
Yes.
Councilman Hester?
Yes.
Councilman Redford?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hill?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Henderson?
Yes.
8 yes.
Motion to approve items 7D through H does carry. Moving now to purchases. Council, if you'll pull out this evening's purchases. Present.
We have 6 purchases this evening. The first is from the Parks and Maintenance Division of Parks and Outdoors. This is to Janikin, Chattanooga region from expired contract numbers 550642, 551384, 555484, and 555485 for custodial services for the Riverwalk Extension, Miller Park, Citywide Parks, and Tennessee River Park facilities. The total annual cost estimate is $25,051. The second is from Citywide Services and Public Works. This is a new blanket contract for front end loaders and refuse pickup services. This will be a 4-year contract not to exceed $210,000 per year. 4 bids were requested and 3 were returned. The award will go to Capital Waste Services LLC as the best bid meeting specifications. The third purchase is for the Fleet Management Division of Public Works. This is for an increase which is needed to cover services as well as various mower ODM parts from CMI Equipment Sales Incorporated through contract expiration. This is an increase of $75,000 for a total annual estimated spend of $300,000. The fourth is from Information Technology. This is a sole source 3-year agreement for ArcGIS product software from Environmental Systems Research Institute Incorporated. The total annual estimated cost is $150,000 in year 1 and $165,000 in years 2 and 3. The fifth purchase is from the Waste Resources Division of Public Works. This is a 6-month contract extension for programmable logic controller services from Admin Electric Co. Incorporated. This extension includes a 16.6% price increase on 2 line items for a total annual estimated cost of $450,000. The sixth and final purchase is from the Chattanooga Division of Transportation and Public Works. This is a new blanket contract for guardrail installation and repair. This will be a 4-year contract not to exceed $75,000 per year. 2 bids were requested and 1 was returned. The award will go to Tennessee Guardrail Incorporated as the best bid meeting specifications.
All right, council, you've heard this evening's purchases. What is the pleasure of the council?
Approval.
I have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Coonrod? Councilman Byrd?
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs?
Yes.
Councilman Hester? Councilman Redford?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hill?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Henderson?
Yes.
That's 7 yes.
So moved. Turning now to committee reports. Councilwoman Coonrod. Councilman Byrd.
No report.
Vice Chair Smith.
No report, Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman Burrs.
No report, sir.
Councilman Hester. He is not with us. Councilman Redford.
No report, Chair.
Councilwoman Hill.
Thank you, Chair. We had our first meeting of the Education and Innovation Committee this afternoon, where we had a presentation from the Innovation Group about civic user testing, which is going to invite our citizens to help improve our programs and processes, websites, apps, and so forth. The first of which will be the 311 app that is in development. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, turning now to other business. We do have a settlement announcement to make. Madam Attorney?
Yes, we entered into a settlement agreement in the case of Jeffrey Hilkert for himself and his next friend and father of CH, a minor, city of Chattanooga lawsuit.
Thank you. Councilman Redford.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to appoint the Board of Sign Appeals from District 4 This is a reappointment, Ms. Kit Parker. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, did you get that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That takes us through all of our agenda items this afternoon, bringing us to recognitions of persons wishing to address the council. It's my understanding we did have one person that had registered through our Zoom platform, but I have not seen their name at this time. Should they log on between now and the time we get wrapped up here, I will recognize them. With that being said, is there anyone that is present with us here this afternoon that would like to address the council tonight? Okay. All right. Let me let the city attorney read the rules to engage the council. While they're doing that, Mr. IT, if you can get 3 minutes for us on the clock.
All right, each speaker wishing to address the council will be recognized by Chairman Henderson at this microphone. You may speak on matters within the legislative and quasi-judicial authority of the council, and you'll be limited to 3 minutes. Thank you.
If you would give us your name and district number, you may begin. Well, we lost our clock. There it is.
Yes, my name is Charlie Wysong. I'm a resident of the city of Robin Drive. I want to address the matter of, I said here, God has instituted 3 governments to protect mankind from the evils of this world. The kind of evils that we saw in the West Side where 5 murders took place in just 1 week. God set up the family government, then civil government, and then church government. All 3 are required to follow the laws of God and encourage those in their jurisdiction to follow the laws of God also. Jesus instructed us to pray, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done." Commissioner Mackey said again and again in his meeting on these murders, tell this county commission what we need to do. We must first recognize that murder is a spiritual problem, and changes in government programs alone are not going to address this matter. The involvement of all 3 of these governments, family, church, and civil, is necessary to stop these murders in Chattanooga. Truth is God's vehicle in resolving problems, and I want to speak some truth. The problem has been cast as a countywide problem. It is not. These 5 murders took place within the police jurisdiction of Chattanooga and not Hamilton County. Second, it is a black problem, not a white problem. It is not whites killing blacks or blacks killing whites. It is young blacks generally killing young blacks. Within the black community, if we look at these 3 governments, we see that there are few functioning family governments and only a few functioning church governments. God declares in his word that he hates hands that shed innocent blood. He further states that thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is abomination. In Philippians chapter 3, verse 18, we read, for many walk, of whom I have told you already, that they even weeping, that they are the enemies of the cross of Christ, whose end is destruction. When a church endorses candidates whose first agenda is abortion and sodomy, it has become the enemy of God. There's no church at all. And I just say the black community needs to restore the governments it has, and God help us to do it. I want to come back in 2 weeks and answer Mr. Mackey's request. What do we need to do? Tell this council what we need to do. And I want to make an application to the council here. Thank you.
All right, anyone else that would like to address the council this afternoon?